Which goes out to all of those Republican constituents who believe that their leaders are actually in politics for their benefit. They are in it for their own benefit, but they're not in it for their constituents' benefit. One of the reasons I say this is because a lot of the GOP idolize a writer and a philosopher named Ayn Rand. In this video, I'm going to include a link to a YouTube video where she's being interviewed, and they talk about her views as far as individuals are concerned and as far as how we should treat one another. But basically what she says is that we should love ourselves above all others. Ayn Rand says any man who puts others before himself is not deserving of love. Atlas shrugged. And then you have people like Paul Ryan, who touts how much he believes in her and how much he agrees with her philosophies and her writings, and even says that, it's too bad she's not around now because she would be able to lead this country in the right direction. I don't really have a problem with their beliefs. I don't have a problem with too many people's beliefs as far as they don't harm others. But the problem that I do have with these GOP leaders that prescribe to Ayn Rand's philosophies is that they shouldn't be leading the country. How can you put yourself above all else and lead a group of people? If you want to put yourself above all else, that's fine. But don't go out and say that you're going to lead these people in the right direction when in the back of your mind, your only thoughts are that you are promoting yourself, you're making your situation better, without regard to what's going on with the rest of the people. These are not people that should be leading the masses. These are people that should be leading themselves and themselves alone. Another problem that I have with the GOP leaders' beliefs in Ayn Rand is that the Republican Party seems to be the party of theology. They're the ones that love God more than anybody else. The Democrats are godless in their eyes, with the implications that they put out there with some of the talking points that they make on a daily basis, especially some of the people who are campaigning for president in the upcoming election. And the problem that I have with them believing in Ayn Rand is that she was an atheist. Should those who profess to love Jesus really be following the teachings of an atheist? And also talk about how religious they are, when the things that they do point towards a kind of selfishness and not very godlike, or not godlike, but not very giving. The one thing they try to say is that God is here for America, for Americans, and this is the greatest country, and it's because God backs America. How do they follow an atheist as far as their philosophies? And her philosophy is basically in stark contrast to what they would say Jesus would have you do. Jesus says forgive and be helpful and caring of one another. Ayn Rand says care for yourself alone. She is not a good philosopher for someone who is trying to say that they follow the teachings of the Bible. Another problem that I have with her is that her philosophy is about individualism, and that's the one where it basically says that you should only care about yourself, you should love yourself above all others. I don't think this country would be where it is now if all the heroes that we have from the past love themselves and themselves above all others. Because a lot of people in this country have made great sacrifices for the masses. And then lastly, one of the most controversial things about Ayn Rand, and you can look this up, just Google it, is that she idolized serial killers in general because they had no need for society, or saw no need to put society's needs above their own. And she idolized one in particular. I think his name was William Hickman, and who cut off a 12-year-old's head
Really? Is that who she should idolize?
Her father paid the ransom, and he returned her in pieces. Now, how could someone who idolizes a serial killer like that, or a killer, I'm not sure if he's a serial killer, how could someone idolize a philosopher that believes in serial killers as the ultimate human being? It just doesn't make sense. And you can see it in the things that the GOP is trying to do right now. They're basically trying to give more money to themselves and funnel money to fewer and fewer and fewer. And that's a lot in line with what Ayn Rand preached. If you would like to debate this, you can look me up on Fabian Augustus at hotmail.com. Email me and we can talk about it.